Hello and welcome to the Bothering Strangers podcast. My guest today, you might have seen him on Wildnout, Basic to Bougie, Send Foods, Truth or Drink, Going Raw, any of those places. My guest today is Timothy Chantarangsu. How do you say it? How do you say your last name?
Close.
I forgot to ask you that before,
Close.
and I watched your video on how to say it too, and I still think I messed it up.
Yeah. Okay. So try it again. You're gonna spell it out. It's exactly like it's spelled.
Oh, really? Okay. Chantarangsu.
Yeah.
Oh, lit. Okay. Man, I was so prepared. I was practicing before. I'm serious. I was practicing before, and I was like, I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him before we get going, and I forgot to ask. I tried.
Yeah. No, it's all good. People don't realize it's literally just like spelled out. They see the letters and they get a little intimidated.
I think I did what everyone does. I think I just overthought it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there's no way it's like that, but wrong again.
Mm-hmm.
So doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. How's it going?
It's going good, man. I'm chilling, just chilling, staying indoors. LA's just locked down again, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm inside, and I'm hoping I don't get the Rona, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm in Orange County. I don't know I think it's the same here as it is in LA County.
No, you guys are all out and about. You guys don't care at all.
Well, right, we are all out and about, but I think the rules are the same though.
No, you guys, like, movie theaters are open. Aren't like gyms open too?
Outside gyms.
Oh, okay. Well, none of the movie theaters out here have been open the whole time. Like, I had to drive all the way to Huntington Beach to watch a movie the other day.
So I'm sorry to hear.
And yeah, man, I miss it. That's probably what I miss most through the whole quarantine, is going to the movie theater.
Yeah, I haven't been to a movie theater in like 2 years probably. Legit.
What? Why?
This is gonna make me look so bad because like I actually do act. I am an actor part-time. But I don't have patience oftentimes to watch full movies. Which is weird because I can watch like 3 hours of TV in a row, just like episode after episode, but a movie's like, oh God, it just.
You millennials, man.
I'm actually technically Gen Z, so
Yeah, no, that's what I meant, because I'm a millennial. So you fucking Gen Z kids, shake my head.
You're a proper millennial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's phones. Phones ruined it because now like I just can't focus enough on like a movie.
Going to movies is like my favorite thing to do. I put my phone on silent. I sit there. I get my giant bucket of popcorn. I lay out and I fucking look at and I take it all in. Not just the movie, but the fucking soundtrack, the cinematography, all of it. I love it.
What was the last movie you saw in theaters?
Last movie I saw in theaters. Well, I rented out a theater because like all the theaters are doing that whole thing now where like you can rent out a theater for like $100. So I rented a theater and we watched Tenet.
Oh my God. Okay, so it's so interesting that you said that because I was listening. Do you know who Big Irish Jay is?
From Came on Stage?
Yeah, like that. He was on the podcast like 3 months ago, but I was watching his Instagram just yesterday, and he watched it apparently in a drive-in theater.
Yeah.
And he hated it.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it like 5 more times to really make a decision because I'm not completely sure if I understood it. Like I got it, but I didn't get it. So I feel like that's one of those you need to really watch again and again and again. Yeah.
I saw the ad for it, like the trailer, and I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna understand this movie."
I think you're just dumb, dude.
Well, that might be true regardless.
You just sound dumb. I think that's what it is.
Your last name correctly.
Can't sit through an hour and a half.
Yeah, he was so mad. He did like just like a 4-minute video just roasting just the exact complaint you had, by the way. Of just I don't understand the plot. He's like if you paid me $1 million to explain the plot to you, I'd be like, I'll take $100 and tell you the title.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's one of those, but I mean, a part of me loves shit like that where you really gotta like sit and figure it out. But that Tenet was like next level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm still. People ask me if I liked it or not. I still kind of like. I tell them I have to watch it like a few more times before I even really fully make my decision.
I feel like it's a loaded question. I feel like it's if I said like you live in LA and I was like, so do you like living in LA?
I
That
love living in LA.
well, you may, but that's like a pretty loaded question because like there are a lot of like ups and downs to it.
I love living in LA because I'm from LA, and every every person that says LA is fake or they hate living in LA is not from LA. They're usually from some like bumfuck random city in like Idaho or Wisconsin. They move to LA because they want to pursue this like dream of IG stardom that they saw online. They want to be the Kardashians, and they come out here and they think it's going to be easy, and then they get mad at LA because their dreams failed because they suck and they want to put in the work. That's why people don't like LA.
Yeah, I think Instagram's given that complete, false sense of hope.
Because they see they see the glitz and glamour, and they don't see the effort, and then they get upset and they want to blame LA people for being fake. But really, it's like, come on, bro. Like, I know people that have come out here and actually like focused on building their like network and like working, and then actually were able to come to LA and thrive and make real friends. You know what I'm saying? Because like people don't move to LA because they want to meet best buddies. Like, they come to LA for a specific reason. So if you come out here and then you get mad, it's like it's your own fault.
It's completely on you at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you
But
from?
yes,
Are you from Long Beach or Paradise or Paramount? Not Paramount.
I lived in Long Beach from when I was a baby till I was like 10 years old, and then my family bought a Thai food restaurant in Paramount, and then we moved to Paramount. Um, and then recently, when I bought the house for like me and my wife, been in like LA for like a couple years now.
Okay, and so because I'm in Irvine, where is Paramount though? I don't even.
Paramount is right. If you let's see, so you're in Irvine, so Paramount would be past, like if you're going from Irvine to LA, you would pass Long Beach, and then
the east.
it's like, no, it's north.
Ooh.
It's in between Long Beach and Compton.
Oh,
Paramount.
I know that. I know that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's like right off the 710.
Yes. Okay, I know that. I don't know why. It's just one of those places you like hear about, but you're never quite sure.
Yeah, there's so many little outskirts and little cities, and so many municipalities. Is that right? Is it municipalities or principalities?
Municipalities in this case.
Okay, yeah, but there's a bunch.
I just found out where Norwalk was.
Norwalk is right by Paramount.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just like, oh, this is Norwalk. I was driving LA and I'm like, oh, I'm in Norwalk. Okay. Absolutely. How are you? Your wife's you're gonna have a baby soon, right?
I'm gonna have a baby. Yeah, a real baby. It's crazy. She's in her third trimester now. She's doing a couple months. It's getting real. It's getting crazy.
Are you ready? How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling really ready, man. It's like it's a decision we kind of both made earlier this year, and we're like, you know what? I think it's time. I think we're ready. I think let's give it a go. And I'm super excited to see what the little baby looks like, and I'm excited to like start having conversations with it and like get a whole bunch of Instagram likes. It's gonna be great.
You speak you speak Thai, right?
Yeah, I speak Thai, not like super fluent, but enough to communicate with like my parents, and I like just a little casual conversation.
Are you gonna teach the baby Thai or?
Yeah, for sure. Gonna try and get some Thai, English, and probably get some Spanish in there too, if possible.
Who speaks Spanish? You or your wife?
Well, my wife is half Salvador. sorry, I'm eating popcorn. It's not the Rona. It might be the Rona.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, she's half Salvadorian, so like we'd like to get some Spanish in there. And plus, just living in LA, I think it's beneficial to know some Spanish,
I'm actually learning Spanish right now, and it's being like I've been white my whole life, all 23 years I've been white. No Spanish in my house. It's tough. It's a hard language to pick up in your 20s for sure.
Yeah, I took 3 years of Spanish in high school, and I went to like a predominantly Mexican high school, so it was kind of like I kind of got like more used to it than I realized. Especially one time I went on a trip with my wife and her family to, I think we're in Huatulco, which is a city in Mexico, and I had to take a cab back to the airport by myself because I had to leave early, and so me and the cabbie were just trying to like have this conversation in Spanish, and I'm like pulling every Spanish word that I possibly knew from my brain, and it was working. We were having a conversation, and I was like impressed with myself, and he was impressed because like, we actually were understanding each other.
I've lately been trying to speak Spanish to like as many people as I can when I'm out in the world. So, not that often. Yeah. And every time I do, I get like, everyone's like, whoa, like you speak Spanish? And I'm like, well, like I speak like a little bit of Spanish. Like don't try to have a full-on conversation with me because I'm not picking up what you're saying.
As long as you hear them when they say pinche gringo, and they're talking about you.
I was one time I was in a Mexican restaurant. Me and my roommate, only two white dudes in there. And this was in the Midwest, so like not even here. And I got I went one salsa too high for me, and way too spicy.
Yeah.
And you know how like a lot of these Mexican restaurants like half restaurant, half market.
Yeah, sure.
It was one of those. So I'm like, I was like trying to just like flex, but I can do this. I can't do it. So I'm losing it, and then I run over to the market side, and like and everyone like is starting like seeing how frantic I am. And I pull out like one of them like drinks I know will help, and I'm just like, here, put it down. And she's like, are you all right? I'm like, I went with the orange one.
Oh, the orange one's always the craziest one.
I know, and she's like, and it was too much. And she's like, and she's like, I know the one. She's like, I can't even take the orange, and I'm like,
Look at you trying to show off.
I shouldn't have done it. My ancestors would have been very mad at me for doing that.
No, your ancestors would have been proud of you
for trying to go spicy.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine they were on that spicy food train back in Europe.
That's why they were proud of you. They're like, oh wow, like they were like, Maximus is really putting it out there right now for our people.
Well, yeah, I mean, like we're Jewish, so like we have all the food issues. We have all of them. So whenever you can try to break one,
they're like, oh, Maximus is feeling really verklempt right now for our people.
Really pulled that one out. I'm impressed. No, it's verklempt. That's like not a word a lot of people know.
I watch a lot of TV, you know what I'm saying? I watched a lot of TV growing up. So I just kind of have like a really weird I know random things about random things. And that just comes from like verklempt, that just comes from watching like old SNL skits where like Mike Myers would like play like old Jewish ladies doing like interviews.
Yeah. Those are like those 80s and 90s skits right there.
Before your time.
That was a great time for SNL though.
It's all right now.
It's kind of dropped off honestly in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean the past. Yeah. Right now it's all right.
It's a nice way of saying it's all right. That's the same thing for me. I like picked up a lot of, obviously I'm younger than you, but I picked up like a lot of slang just through watching TV like I would never use because like it just wouldn't fit the situations. However, I always understood what they meant.
Like what?
Well, I watched like a lot of BET growing up.
Yeah. As did I. Yeah.
Yeah, as did a lot of people. But I grew up in Orange County, right? So like I didn't grow up around black people by any means. I don't know what it's like a fair amount specifically, but like so like I never used it, but I would just like absorb it. I feel like for a lot of white kids in America who grew up in like whiter or just like areas with not a lot of black people, because Irvine's not a white area, but it's not a black area.
Yeah.
The main way we learn about black culture is just through TV, and it's just through like music. And then we may never use it, but that's it.
So what's like one of the slang words you learned that you didn't use in real life, but it was like in your system?
I started using it when I went to college. I went to college
Okay.
in Kansas, which is super white, right? Super
Yeah,
white.
yeah.
However, the dorm I lived in, the four of them happened to be very racially mixed.
Okay.
So I got there, and like you got us like a sheltered Jewish kid from Orange County, going to Kansas, like very much out of my element. When I get there, and one day I'm sitting there, and they're talking about this is embarrassing for me to say it, but I'll say it. They're talking about finessing. And they're talking about and they're talking about somebody I don't even know. And they're like, oh, you don't want to mess with him, like he's out here always like finessing. And I literally like I'm the only one in the room who doesn't know the word.
Right.
And so I literally like looked at the person next to me very quietly. I'm like, what's finessing? He goes, hey y'all, what's finessing? I'm like, no, what? I was asking
But at least you weren't
quietly.
the only one.
At
least you weren't the only one, though.
She didn't know how to explain it.
At least you had someone there to help.
She knew it, but she didn't know how to explain it. And I was like, nah. And then she's like, oh, it's like, when you like, you're kind of like, skeezy and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But like,
but now you're like the adorable white dude in the group that they can like teach them.
I was always the adorable white dude because I was always the dancing white dude.
Oh.
The one who can't dance but has the rhythm at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. So you got some girls out there in Kansas, is what you're saying?
No. it didn't pay off the way I was hoping it would. But finna was one of those words I learned in like high school, and I've to this day never used it.
Yeah,
because I just don't think it'll sound right coming out of my mouth.
Yeah,
but it was
just I was definitely a finna user back in high school for sure. Did a lot of finna.
Was it more popular when you were in high school though?
Yeah, we used a lot of finna. Yeah, I'm finna do this. I'm finna do that. I probably don't finna as much as I used to. Probably not at all, actually.
I feel like with age, there's less finna.
I think I'm more of a I'm about to, as opposed to finna.
Yeah, yeah. I would always say early in college I would always say if someone like made like a good joke, I'd be like, oh man, I'm dead. That's what I'd always say.
Right. Now a lot of people say that.
Yes, they do say that. So that's one of those things that I don't say it anymore. Like I don't remember the last time I said it.
It's a pretty popular phrase, I think.
Kinda, yeah.
To this day. No, I see it all the time still on my timeline.
What demographic do you see using it though?
Whoever's commenting and laughing.
Oh, okay. Across the board.
Or I'll see a lot of skull crossbone emojis, which signify death.
Oh, is that? See, I honestly never picked up that meant I'm dead laughing.
Yeah, if people are laughing, it's usually laugh cry, dead emoji, or skull crossbone. That means like I'm dead.
Well, I guess you have like 1.5 million followers, so you're gonna get a lot of those comments.
A lot of emojis.
When
I
post something, sure. I'm just hoping to get a comment.
Hey man, it's okay. It's not all about likes and comments. You know what I'm saying? We're just out here living, bro.
But I actually do want to talk about this because I'm curious about this. Like, how do you? How long have you been on YouTube? Like, when did you get on YouTube?
I've been on YouTube since like 2006.
Wow. Early adopter of YouTube.
Actually 2005, 2006. But my current channel, my main channel is 2006. Yeah.
Early adopter of YouTube. So I'm curious about this with YouTube, because YouTube does the likes and the views. Instagram does the likes, comments, and views depending on what you're working with. And of course, follows, subscribers, all that stuff. How do you separate like your happiness from like the response you're getting?
Yeah, that's a good question. For me, more than anything, the likes for me, like, or the feedback isn't so much of a validation to make me happy, but I definitely just look at it as more like it's a business. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm posting consistently because I want to keep my like interactions up. I want to keep my engagements up because I feel like it all kind of like now more so than ever, they all kind of like link together. They all kind of dance together, like Instagram, YouTube, potential opportunities outside of the internet. And I think that like, even though I don't necessarily post for the like approval or like to get likes, if I do post a picture that I feel like, oh man, this is doing like horribly compared to everything else, then I will like, I'm like, all right, well, this one had a day to kind of do its thing, didn't do great, let me take it down. Just because I don't want it to throw off the whole like look of everything and like the overall like numbers, you know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, I've never done that.
yeah. Yeah, so it's like for me, I'm not, it's not a matter of like, oh, does this make me happy or not? It's like, okay, I need to keep the numbers up so I can keep getting brand deals, so I can keep like, making money,
Because because obviously for like yourself who's like a YouTuber, now you have Deliciousness, but YouTube is a very much a main source of income. Most of the money you make is through like sponsorships, brand deals. So so when sponsors and brands are looking at possibly partnering with you, do you think that they're looking at your likes and that type of thing as like averages to kind of see engagement?
Yeah, I think they're looking at both, right? They're looking at the vibe of just like your channel and then or like your page or whatever, and they're also looking at for sure like the engagement and the likes. Like after the first initial introduction of like, hey, we'd love to work with you, the second email is always like, hey, can we get a screenshot of your analytics and your demographic and like where your viewers are coming from, how old are they, like all that type of thing,
I've been getting that. I've been getting that sometimes for like when I reach out to people for this podcast.
Oh, really?
Not always. Like, I mean, you didn't, thankfully, but for other people, it's about like because like for instance, like, I was emailing with you specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, I'm reaching out to like management teams.
Yeah,
they're all about the numbers. Respect, which is like a completely understandable thing, and usually, and sometimes I'll just be like, they're like, how many views you get? I'll be like, this range of views.
Yeah,
depending on in the last episode, and then
yeah,
okay, and then they pretty much, it seems like they make a decision from that number itself.
Well, honestly, man, like I'll usually when a podcast hits me up, first thing I'll usually do is like Google them and I'll look at like past episodes and I'll see like who else has been on it, and like and normally if like it's no one that I really recognize, then I'll just ignore the email. But like for you, initially, I was going to use it as an excuse to go to Irvine and just hang out with my friend in Irvine. And then I was like, sure, let's do it.
Oh, that was like you emailed me that. Oh,
yeah. That's why I was like, okay, we're doing this in Irvine. Sweet.
If you told me that, I would have like,
no, it's all good. It's all good. I wouldn't have been able to do it anyways, like everything's locked down anyways.
Right, I guess.
And then I was like, and then after it wasn't in Irvine, I was like, all right, well, fuck it. I already told him, yes, let's do it.
Well, I guess I just got lucky then. Honestly, I think I've had good guess. I can say I've had a good guess. I've been hearing from people that for like as new as my podcast is.
Yeah, for you, I didn't even really look into yours. I was just like, Irvine, sure, let's do it.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't know that because when we had that call like 2 months ago, I was like, COVID, like that was literally where.
Oh yeah, no, the call was weird though. The call was weird. I hate calls like right off the bat.
I'm sorry.
That's
yeah,
weird.
Honestly, I even felt it was weird after I was called. I was like, that didn't need to happen.
No, it really didn't.
I knew it. I felt so awkward afterwards. I was literally thinking, well, if he doesn't come on, I know why he didn't come on.
Yeah, take that with you for the future. The call wasn't necessary.
You're the only one I've called. So like,
well, why'd you do it?
Okay, so my head. So this was it, right? Every episode I've done has been on Zoom because one, I don't have studio space, but two, because of COVID, you know, like there's no, like Zoom's a good, you know, platform for this.
Yeah.
So you email me, and I was honestly not expecting an email back. And you and back, and you're like, Irvine, and I'm like, and I was like, I guess we could talk about like possibilities, but then I emailed you back. I'm like, oh, let's talk on the phone, right? And then after that, I was like, I talked to you. I'm like, what? I'll just do it on Zoom. Like it doesn't need to be in Irvine. And that was so it was just like timing. And then the call happened, and you even said on the call, which was like a minute and a half long, like we didn't need to do this on the phone. I'm like, nope, no, we did not. And I was sitting here thinking, because that was like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I was sitting thinking, well, I don't think it's gonna happen now, and I know why, it won't happen now.
I mean, well, obviously it wasn't. Why? Because it's still happening. We're still here.
Here, yeah,
We're having a great conversation.
yeah, oh, for sure.
I just, you know, I mean, for me, I'm a little different than like a lot of people. I just don't like unnecessary phone calls, to be honest, you know.
That's
and
fair.
You didn't know that. It's okay. I don't even really talk to my good friends on the phone, you know what I'm saying?
Text
So
them.
it's like, yeah, we'll text or we'll send little like voice notes, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, especially so when like business people want to do like calls, it's like, and then when you find out it's like something that could have happened in an email that could have been taken care of with just like a few sentences, it's like,
Well, we emailed after that.
Yeah. So we're good. We're good.
But yeah, no, it makes sense, because I think, because I'm in the small minority of people my age, and you know, 20 to 40, I'd say. 35 maybe, who actually likes a call. I prefer calling over texting.
Weird.
Yeah. Oh, for sure weird. But also because one, like I oftentimes find it more efficient, because sometimes it is. But it's just I just like I just like talking. So I literally I call my I'm writing a script right now with someone else, like for the last many months. Like we're on the 4th draft. And I call him up sometimes to be like, hey, can we like do this? And like every call I could have texted. And he always answers. and I can always hear him being like, you called me again. You didn't text me.
You're not even listening to the signals that your friends are sending you.
Well, yeah, but it's a business with us. It's not the same with us. But yes, but you're right. I'm not listening to the signals by choice, honestly. I should. You're right, though. I honestly, but you're the only one I've called. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like phone calls when I'm like dating someone, because you know, then you can get like a real kind of like vibe and understanding of who they are. But man, when it's like, for one, it's like with my besties, with my good buddies, we're already like fucking like, you know, we're like older. We don't really feel like talking on the phone, you know, unless it's like really something that needs to be discussed. And then for new friends that want to call me on the phone, I'm like, what the fuck are you calling me? I was like, dude, I don't know. Then I'm like, ugh. Because then it's like, who has time for new friends, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I hear you. Are you of the age where you're like, I have enough friends, like I'm good?
Oh, I've been at that age for like 10 years.
I guess you had a lot of friends 10 years ago then.
I've had 3 friends for like since high school, you know, 3 real friends that I really actually just love and care about. And that's like, and you know, with how busy everybody is, when there's new people that like want to like get together and hang out, I kind of feel like I just need to prioritize. And I'm like, man, if I haven't seen my bestest friends in like 2 weeks, then I don't really need to be hanging out with this new person. Like, for what, you know? So I'm good.
I understand.
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still at the age. I'm only 23, so I'm still at the age where I'm like, friends. Yeah, sure. Like,
oh yeah, dude, you need to go out, have a great time, when you can.
Yeah.
Go out, meet everybody, hump on everybody. Just like hold nothing back. This is the time to do that. Well, not right now because you know, disease and Rona, but when it's safe again, totally.
Yeah, I gotta get back out to like just like the bars to hang out with people and all that.
Man, yeah, 23 is a great age. I loved 23.
It's really it's a solid age. When I was like a senior in college, which was only like 1 year ago from now.
Yeah.
I literally was like, when I went to my senior, I'm like, friends? I have enough friends.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong.
Mm.
I needed more friends. Like I was like, I came in being like, why make friends when I'm gonna graduate? And then I really honestly then I was like, I could really use a lot more friends than I have right now.
And now where they all at?
Well, they're in Kansas. Because
Damn.
I went to school there.
Damn. And how about your Irvine friends?
A couple are here. I saw one yesterday, but a couple are here. The rest are like in like LA or just other places where they moved to.
What's good to eat in Kansas?
Nothing. But if you go to Missouri, like Kansas City, Missouri, barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been?
Yes. No, but I've had barbecue that was from Kansas City, Missouri. By way of this company called Gold Belly that ships food from different states like to you, and it's like frozen, but then it sends you all like the ingredients that you can like cook and make your own. And it was really good, even prepared that way. So yeah.
How was your parents? They don't, I think I remember you saying in a podcast that they don't own that Thai shop anymore.
No, they retired it a few years ago.
How was it?
It was bomb. Super bomb. Yeah. And I'm like my mom is very, very particular about her Thai food just because she's very good at it.
Yeah.
So and I've taken friends there who were like also very picky about their Thai food, who were like, oh yes, this is legit.
Were you in Paramount? Are there a lot of Thai? Is there a big Thai community or? Kind of.
There's first of all, there's a lot of Thai food restaurants in Paramount. There's like a handful of there's like a small Thai community there. Also like there's like Mexican people love Thai food.
Yes.
So I think it's like, they kind of share the same kind of flavors, like hot and spicy, or hot and sour, and so Thai food does well out there, and there's some Thai people here and there.
In Long Beach, is there like a bigger community?
Long Beach, there's Thai people, more Cambodians, a lot of Cambodians in Long Beach. There's a good amount of Thai people too. Cambodians, Filipinos. Yeah.
So what?
I was saying you went to school in Irvine. You grew up in Irvine, so there's a lot of Asians around there. Yeah.
A lot of everybody Asian. Like if you're Asian, like just a lot of every type of Asian. If that tracks in any way. Yeah, it's becoming more Asian actually. I'd say now.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is what it is. Your parents are from Thailand, right? What were their thoughts on when you started YouTube? And they're like, what is he doing? Like, what's this about?
Well, I mean, they knew from me being really young that I was gonna pursue a career in entertainment. Like I always told them, like from probably 10 years old, that I'm gonna go be famous, So when I started making YouTube videos, I think there was definitely a I think it started off like, oh, there's Tim just making little silly videos with his friends again, because we used to make little short films in high school before YouTube, and have screenings in a little theater and sell tickets and stuff like that. And then so when the YouTube stuff started taking off, it was kind of like, oh, this is cute. Like, wow, people kind of know who he is from these videos, And but my dad was always kind of like, all right, well, but make sure you get your degree, make sure you finish school and get your degree, And but I knew there was kind of a switch in their minds when all parents kind of like to brag about their kid, especially Asian parents. They try to find any real excuse, but it's always pretty it's very academic, what the main pitch is. So initially it would be like, oh yeah, Tim does these he likes to do these videos with his friends, but also he majors in this and this and that at Cal State Long Beach. But then there was one day where I heard my dad he was like, hey, my son's famous on the internet, and I was like, oh shit, so he knows this is this is legit now, you know? And eventually, you know, it got to a point where I was too busy to really keep trying to do both at the same time. And like I took a semester off school, and then I got really busy, so I took another semester off, and then I took a year off, and then I took 2 years off, and then I just never went back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that I feel like that's pretty regular, honestly. I think I don't know if you can you could probably let this, but Ken Jeong talked about it in his last Dim special, where it was
Mm,
like he was a doctor, then like he took time off to be in the first Hangover,
yeah.
went back to being a doctor for one day, and he's like, I just can't be a doctor anymore.
Hmm.
And his parents like, what do you? He was already like in his like 40s, and like, what are you doing? And then he became like a famous actor, and his parents like, because of us, you are now a famous actor.
Yeah, it's funny because like I always tell the story where my mom's like, my mom will still be like, hey, you're gonna like, maybe up to like a few years ago, my mom would be like, hey, you're still gonna like go back and finish your degree, right? And I'm like, Mom, you want me to finish, or do you want me to like keep paying for your shit? And she's like, oh, okay, never mind, never mind.
What did you study in college?
I was communications at first, with just like the notion of being like, all right, I'm gonna use this communications degree to like go into some type of broadcasting and still kind of do entertainment with this degree, right? And then I was like, you know what? Getting this degree, I don't know if this is really gonna help anything in the entertainment industry. Like the entertainment stuff is either gonna work or it's not, regardless of my degree. So I was like, let me just have fun. And like I really like to like draw. So I switched to art like halfway through. And then that was fucking hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then I just, you know, eventually dropped out.
How long were you in college?
Man, shit, like 6 years.
Oh, you were like part-timing it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah.
after shit started to pick up, I was like, all right, well, I can't have a full schedule anymore. So I started part timing, and then it like I would like register for like a full semester of classes, and then like a show would come up or this would come up, and then I would end up with 1 or 2 classes every semester, and I'm like, man, this is pointless.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it tracks. I mean, I feel like yeah, I hear about that a lot. Honestly, is people like where like it picked up when they were in college.
Yeah, just kind of happens, and you got to make the decision for yourself, you know, what you're gonna fully commit to.
What was your like? What would you say your big break in the entertainment world was? Would it be like Wild and Out, or was it something else?
You know, yeah, I think Wildin' Out was definitely, I would consider that one of like the big breaks. Because it was like I feel like I had built up this fan base on YouTube for so many years and that's what helped me get my audition on Wildin' Out, you know,
Right.
because Nick Cannon, when he brought Wildin' Out back, he tweeted, he's like, all right, who's the funniest person online? Whoever gets the most retweets of hashtag Wildin' Out needs me, I'll audition personally. So
Wow.
I kind of, yeah, I already had my like pretty decent fan base. So I had them retweet, of course, and then someone DM'd me and they're like, hey, all right, well, if you're serious about auditioning, you know, contact this person and come in for your audition, and that was that.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, I knew you much more from Wild and Out.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you originally from Wild and Out,
Yeah,
and then that led to YouTube, which I feel like is how it works.
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. And you're the
I mean,
second.
but I did a Twitter survey the other day. I was like, hey, where do you guys know me from? YouTube or Wildin' Out? And it was like 80% YouTube, 20% Wildin' Out.
Oh wow. Yeah. All right. I guess I'm just part of the minority again.
Yeah, I mean, you are youngin'. That might be it too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also like certain people are really really into YouTube as well, like viewers watching it, and I like YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm not on that level of YouTube, I would
I
say.
know, and you know, and that's why, and you know, and then YouTube 15, 10 years ago was like so completely different. You know, it was completely different than how it is now. People went to YouTube for different reasons, you know. So it was like back then it was all like I was doing crazy sketches and like just really kind of off the wall shit. You know, my channel's completely different now. So it's like,
You're vlogging now too.
yeah, I've been vlogging for a minute. I've been vlogging for like 10 years probably. But yeah, if you actually watch my like first vlogs, it's like I'm still in college. I'm with my ex-girlfriend. I'm still like I think I just got fired from California Pizza Kitchen. Um
Yeah, yeah.
It's a whole new life. It was a whole different world back then, you know?
The California Pizza Kitchen incident, on Wikipedia it says that you just tweeted that their uniforms suck.
Pretty much.
Oh wow, it's accurate.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, what happened was here's the details of it. I was working at CPK and and I really liked the uniforms because the uniforms were like black slacks, white button up, red tie. I thought it was cool.
I like the uniforms
And
there.
then so one day we heard that they were switching the uniforms to black shirts and black pants, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to wear black shirts and black pants. So I was bored on like just waiting for a table to come in, and I like tweeted them, and I was like, at Cal Pizza Kitchen, black button ups are the lamest shit ever. But this was before Twitter was like anywhere near as like powerful as it is now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So someone fucking DM'd me from CPK and was like, oh, thank you for your opinion on our new uniforms. Which store do you work at? And I was like, oh God, I'm not gonna answer that. So I deleted my tweet, just ignored it. And then and my Twitter didn't have any information about me, but it had a link to my YouTube, and my YouTube said I was from Long Beach.
Oh.
So somebody from corporate contacted the Long Beach area general manager and was like, do you know this kid? And she's like, yeah, it's Tim. They're like, well, you got to fire him. So
it's so cut and dry.
Yeah, they fired me for that. And they found a tweet where I had said time to go to work at California Pizza Kitchen. So they didn't like that. And like because I guess in the manual it says like, well, the early manual is different now, but it says you're not allowed to publicly talk shit about the company, basically, and that's grounds for firing. But now I read an article recently that cites my specific incident and says that if it happened now, they wouldn't have been able to fire me because of like free speech. So
wow. Well, it doesn't matter now, but that's were you did you want to like how like were you upset you were fired? Like what was that?
Well, here's what's interesting, right? And this is why I believe in the universe and shit. I didn't mind working at CPK. I like the food's really good. I still eat there pretty consistently. I literally had it yesterday. But
there's no bad blood.
The week I got fired, nah, there's no bad blood at all. The week I got fired, I won a YouTube video contest for HP like laptops, and I submitted a video and it won for like $15,000. And so that gave me a nice little like cushion for like taking some time to not have to work and just really crank out content. And then that was the day that like, you know, I really went like full time as like a YouTuber and never had to work like a quote unquote real job since, you know.
That is some, you know, greater universe stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, honestly. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm so curious why that was put on your Wikipedia though, like the California Pizza Kitchen incident.
I think it's just a funny story people like to tell. There's a whole like video too.
Yeah. So Wild and Out, you were there for like a minute. You were on it for a minute.
Yeah, I was there for six years, 8 seasons.
You were there last year when they kind of did the old school, new school thing.
Yeah, I stopped by for a few episodes.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't looked recently. I don't think it's coming back still.
As far as I know, I don't know. I don't think it's coming back. I mean, I read murmurs about Nick has been speaking to people, but I don't know.
I hope it comes back, honestly.
That'd be cool. I mean, you know what? I'm not on the show anymore, and I feel like my time on Wild and Out is definitely like, you know, that's like a chapter that's closed in my life. But I think it was such a good avenue for so many like young comedians, and, like musicians, and you know, I think it brought like the fun back to hip hop, which is important. And yeah, I mean, I think they should bring it back.
I really used to aspire to be a Wild and Out cast member, and now I'm like not like I don't rap and like that, so I think it would be there are too many obstacles to climb. But like there was a time I was like, this is it. This is what this is one of the steps to my success.
Do it, dude.
I don't know how to rap. I don't know any of that stuff. That's it's also like I don't like roasting people.
I neither do I, to be honest.
You're so good I mean, you were definitely like one of the better people. You were there a while, so you get better over time. But like,
thanks. Yeah, that was like my least favorite part. I just was not a fan of like roasting people, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I did it when I had to. You know, and I had more fun doing it when we were rapping during the Wild Style, and less like towards the end of my run, we had a game called Goddamn, where it was literally just like staring at another person and like roasting them. And
Yeah.
like I hated playing that game.
Yeah,
But
I loved watching that game though.
I mean, it's great to watch. You know, it's
Yeah.
super funny. I'm like, yeah.
It's not. I don't know. Did you get tired? Because it's like, truthfully, like the wild style is probably like the part I enjoy the least. Is
Really?
Yeah, but only because I liked it a lot at first, but then because it became like because like first of all, the roasts are very surface level. Like there's really like other than the Azalea Banks incident, there's really like nothing kind of to it there.
Right.
It's like, so it's like for you, like what were they making fun of you for? Being Asian and being short? Like it was consistently that.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I felt like it was time to go. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had done everything on the show that I was able to do in terms of like what people could say to me and what I could say back. You know what I'm saying? I felt like when you're doing that shit, everybody kind of gets their surface level jokes. You know, like if you're fat, you get the fat jokes.
Yeah.
If you're Asian, you get the Asian jokes. If you're a woman, they'll call you a hoe. And that's just kind of how it is.
You get the white jokes. It's not like.
Yeah, totally. So
yeah.
Yeah. And I felt like, all right, I had done my thing on the show. It's like they can only say this joke so many times before I think everybody felt like it's a little played out. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like I think of someone like I think his name officially is Radio Big Mac, right?
Yeah.
And he is obese.
Yes.
So like, what else are you gonna make fun of him for? Maybe like a big beard, but like you're gonna make fun of him for his weight.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like the predictability of like what they were going after got so, as a viewer, I mean, it got so like I was like, like
yeah,
he's fat.
No, I feel you.
He's Justina
I
was
feel
out
you.
here talking about her butt, and then everyone's like, no, and then I was like, you don't have a butt, and it's like that's it.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
What was your favorite game to play if you think back?
I definitely enjoyed the Wild Style, but also like my favorite games were any games where I could like rap funny stuff. So like Pick Up and Kill It was like my shit.
Sure, good one.
And I loved any game where I could just go out by myself, spit a one-liner, and just be done. Like Let Me Hollow was one of my favorite games because I felt like you could really just get like a really nice one funny punchline out there and then be done, Yeah.
There were a couple instances I want to talk to you about specifically. Were you there? Jacob Williams was on this podcast like about 2 months ago. And he wouldn't divulge too much.
Okay.
But were you there when he kissed that Wild and Out girl?
Yeah.
Did you know he was gonna kiss her?
No, but she knew.
Yeah, no, she knew, as he told me, she knew, which made me feel better about the overall incident. But what was that like who everyone obviously, if you watch it, was like, oh my God, Jacob, kissed her. But what was what was actually going on when you were?
That was it.
That was it. It was genuine. You're like, oh wow, he really did it.
Yeah, we're like, oh, because we didn't know what the fuck he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know where the joke was going. Because it's like you never really know with Jacob, And then when I realized what he was doing, I was like, oh my God, is he gonna kiss her? And I was like, oh yeah.
He was probably one of the people who got hyped up the most, I think.
Who? Me?
Jacob Williams. Like,
oh yeah,
the rest of the cast, I think I would say he was the one who got hyped up the most out of all the rest of the cast members.
I mean, for sure, he plays that role, of like, very unassuming. You never know what he's gonna do, and so when he like kind of just does anything that's like out of character, it's like it's hilarious.
He told me a story because he told me apparently he was the longest running white cast member. He said that to me, and he said that in his like first season or something like that. This was like after he was on America's Got Talent and this and that. They're playing a game that I can't remember the name of, and it was like thirsty people say this.
Okay.
And he literally thought it meant like dehydrated.
Yeah, it's true.
So he goes up there and he's like, and he makes some joke about Nick, and he's like, I can't, I'm just so thirsty. I need water.
Yeah, it was so good. And I thought that was just him just being like extra clever, but now it's just him just not realizing.
He got more clever though. Like as he told me, he got more clever with like
he got more clever. Yeah, and I feel like he really got used to what the games were and what the crowd was, and his rebuttals during the Wild Style were always like crazy. I remember one day he was like, I felt like he was just waiting for somebody to call him a school shooter so he could say, like, I think Justina called him a school shooter or said he looks like he would shoot up a school, and he was like, I don't shoot up the place, but I will shoot this load on your face or some shit. And everyone was like, oh.
Yeah, he got so much better. And I don't know if you agree with me on this. I said on the show, I said your swag got so much better.
Who, me or
well,
Jacob?
You always had good swag.
Oh, Jacob, 100%. Yes.
The last couple seasons, he was really pulling off a look.
I think that just kind of happens. It's like I think everybody, when you look at the first few episodes or even the first season of a show, it's like, and you look back on everybody, it's like everyone looks it's like your freshman year of high school, you know what I'm saying, compared to your senior year. And then you look back and you're like, wow, look how goofy we used to look, Even me, like, I can't watch that first season of Wild 'N Out. For me, like, a couple episodes are like so just cringy for me. And I just, but yeah.
Yeah, I know it makes so much sense though. It's like so much time passes too. What about I know you've talked about this on No Jumper podcast, and I'm sure many other places. The Azalea Banks incident. You were a cast member that day, right?
Yeah, I was on stage.
I think I feel like you said this, but was it just kind of like she did not know what the show was and how it worked?
Who knows what the truth is. I always felt like that was a little that was kind of a cop out, you know what I'm saying? I think anybody that I think, why would you go on a show if you weren't kind of aware of what it was, especially a show like Wild 'N Out, like we had been on for a few years now. And I think also it's like at this point, it's like we have, people got publicists and they got managers and people who would, like, if they're going to book you for a show, they would kind of, you would think they would know what was going to happen on the show, So I think, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what went wrong, but it caused for a moment.
Didn't they have to
stop? An awkward moment.
Didn't they have to stop filming for like an hour?
Yeah. We stopped the whole show to just kind of like reset, to like calm her down. Maybe just let's switch gears here. Let's not make it so roasty.
Which is the whole show.
Which is the whole show, So we tried to turn it into less roasty and more like, because initially we were playing So Petty, but then once we kind of saw where that was going, the producers like stopped it and they're like, okay, now we're gonna play I forgot, but they ended up just redoing them. And I remember just sitting with the audience members during that hour where we were chilling and just being like, oh wow, this is awkward. And they're like, yeah, very.
It was a mutual feeling.
Everybody felt it. But hey, man, shout out to Azalea Banks. I don't know what she's up to right now, or I hope she's having a great day. And maybe just we all have our off days. You know what I'm saying? It happens.
You're absolutely right. Was it? Because I don't know how it went because of editing, but like were the DC Young Fly comments where he basically said we wanted Nicki Minaj, but we got you? Were those the comments that set her off?
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? It's because now normally I'll tell you this, like, if something like that or even close to as awkward or uncomfortable as that would have happened in the past, they could have easily cut it to make it look good. You know what I'm saying? They could have like cut certain jokes and then cut some audience laughter in there to make it seem like everybody was in on it and everybody was laughing and it was all good. The fact that she went on social media like that week and was like trashing the show and saying she got set up and all this, the editors had no choice but to just put out the whole thing uncut pretty much and be like, look guys, here's what happened. And this is how it went down,
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the way Jacob described to me was kind of like if in a regular episode, they pick like the best parts of each game. And
yeah, because I mean we shoot for like 2 hours.
Right. And it's only a 22-minute episode with intros.
Yeah, exactly. So, and a performance. So, yeah. So it's like, that's how they do it. I learned that, because people are like, man, how are you guys always so on point? I'm like, we're not always so on point. Sometimes we stutter. Sometimes the joke is flat. And those, thank God, those get cut. And then they just keep the best stuff. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that they did that on Whose Line Is It Anyway, too. I had no idea. I used to be like, damn, how are these guys so consistently funny?
Oh, they do that on Whose Line?
Yeah, until I heard, I saw when they started putting out games that never aired or bloopers, and then I realized, oh, they shoot for a really long time. Mm-hmm. And they just keep all the good stuff. I mean, why wouldn't they?
But are they cutting the games too? Like certain games, cutting certain parts out?
Yeah.
Or are they just picking the good games?
Everything.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I was curious because this is crazy. Like last week, I was watching Whose Line Is It Anyway? Like just like the old episodes from the '90s, right? When Wayne Brady was like still looking quite young, and I was just thinking, how do they edit this for a 22-minute episode?
Yeah, bro. I'm sure they shoot for at least 2 or 3 hours.
Because some games are going to be duds, I feel like, too.
For sure, and it's like, and and not all I bet I'm willing to bet money that for a game, for example, suggestions out of a hat or whatever from a hat.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, okay, name something you can say in the movies that you can't say to your wife or something like that. Each person, there's usually 3 or 4 jokes in each suggestion. I guarantee they go through at least 10 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we'll just cut out the not as funny ones and leave the best ones.
Yeah. It's kind of I mean, it makes sense because it's TV, but you don't want to hear that as a viewer. You wouldn't want to think they're always just so on point.
I mean, for the most part, they are. You can only edit so much,
True.
On Wildin' Out, and here's the thing about it too, is you got to realize there was 6 people on each team for every episode, and for every game they would let every single person get out their joke, but that you can't. Yeah, but you can't keep all that. The show would be 3 hours long, 2 hours long, so you gotta just that's your best bet.
Was it what minus the Azalea Banks episode? Were there episodes where, or when you filmed it, would they stop filming sometimes, take breaks, or would they just go straight through?
Nah, the majority was straight through. It was what would happen is we get ready, the audience would be seated, someone would come out, kind of hype the crowd up, play some music, maybe do some all right, y'all ready to have a good time, blah blah blah, that thing. Nick would come out, he would say a couple funny things, and then we would start rolling, introduce both teams. He'd introduce the guests. We'd play. It would always be 3 games and then Wild Style. So we'd play a game. We'd dance a little bit. We'd kind of DJ D-Rec would play a little music in between time while they set up different things. And then, but it was normally just kind of straight through because we'd be shooting 2 or 3 episodes a day,
Yeah, I heard, I think, from many cast members now that you're only in Atlanta, New York, or everywhere for a couple weeks.
Yeah, 2-3 weeks tops. Yeah,
and then you're the rest of the year you do whatever you have to do.
And we're just chilling, just knocking out life, and just waiting for the episodes to roll out and hope that your jokes made the cut.
Yeah, Jacob Williams told me that too. He's just where it's you never know what's gonna be in there.
Yeah. I had to learn my lesson. I'm my first season, I was so excited. My first episode, first season, I was yo, you guys make sure you watch the season premiere. I fucking kill it. I say this to Kevin Hart. Yo, it's gonna be so good. And then the episode dropped, and they cut that, and they left me getting a buzzer, and they cut this, and I was ah.
Ooh,
and everybody was Tim, what happened? I was bruh.
They thought you were lying. They're you're flexing on us.
I was I promise. And then from that point on, I never bragged about an episode until I saw it first. So I'd wait for it to come. Yeah, I'd wait for it to come on in New York. And then if people on Twitter from New York were yo, Tim killed it, I'd be oh, everybody watch Wildin' Out tonight. And if people in New York were yo, what happened, Tim? I'm oh, is Wildin' Out on tonight? I didn't even know.
What? Is it Tuesday already?
Yeah.
Was it do you remember any guests that just were on for 1 or 2 episodes and then it just didn't work for them?
Like guests or cast members?
I'm sorry, cast members is what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, I'm not gonna say any names, but there's definitely been some people who, because what they'll do with the new people, especially, is they'll give you an episode or two to try you out, and then if you don't really, if the chemistry isn't working or you don't really have any funny moments, they'll send you home the next day.
Wow. Oh, man, that's tough.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
that
yeah.
that has to be very discouraging.
Yeah, like there was one guy specifically, and he came up to me before the show too. He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna say this during the wild style," and I was like, honestly, man, it's like that doesn't really work as a like. I feel like that's a good like rap battle bar, but I don't think it's gonna hit as a joke. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna say it anyways." He went out there, said it. It was whack. And then he tried to like, and then the Nick said it was whack, and then he tried to like have a little back and forth with Nick, and then he was just all bad. And then they just, for sure enough, the next day he was gone.
There's one guy I remember. I remember him being on for one episode,
Hmm.
and I remember being like, "Who is this guy?" Like I googled him, right?
Okay.
A guy named I'll say his name. There's a guy. It's probably before your time. A guy named Hunter Steibel.
Hunter. Oh, dude. Okay, here's the sad story of Hunter, bro. Hunter was fucking funny.
Yes, he was.
Hunter was really good during workshops and during when we would be like going through games and like going through like just like practice jokes. You know what I'm saying? Hunter was fucking funny and people thought Hunter was gonna kill it. And then when
Pete
it
Wentz
came
episode.
time, yeah, and when it came time to shoot the episode, he just couldn't find. I mean, I feel like they should have given Hunter at least a couple more episodes to kind of find his fitting, his find his just like his rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Because like he did that first episode and it just didn't really work, and then the next day they were like, "All right, man, peace."
Yeah, I just remember looking with him because like there's only like usually like one white guy on each team.
Yeah.
So I was like, who is this guy? So I Google him and I'm like, he was only for one episode. And I was like, people are only on. I didn't know that. I'm like, people are only on for one episode.
Yeah, I know a few people that were only on for one
And now
episode.
I've seen him. I've seen him in a little bit of stuff now, like as an actor, like cameoing.
Mm,
I'm like, wow, like he really wasn't there, like because they edited him to not have any lines.
yeah, yeah, and he said shit during that episode.
I believe it.
They didn't get laughs, so they didn't land, and so it was just it was all bad. What did you even Google to find his name?
When like I don't know, when like that they're saying the names of the cast members at the beginning of the episode.
Oh, I see.
And I literally just did it because I'm like I've never seen him before, and I like Pete Wentz obviously because I'm white too, and he's Fall
Mm-hmm.
Out Boy, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, like I like Pete Wentz, but who's this guy? And then I just googled him, and it just said one episode. And I'm like, that's upsetting.
Poor guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow, yeah, I was surprised with that. Did you think when you got Wild and Out that like you're like, oh, I made it, like I'm good?
No, I knew it would be a good look. I knew it was a great opportunity, and it was just very cool to be like, hey, I'm on TV, especially after like telling people on YouTube for so long that I was gonna be on TV eventually, and like just fucking like throw it in the naysayers' face, you know what I'm saying, and like kind of validate everything I'd been saying. Like I told you, motherfuckers, I was gonna be on TV, and then so that was cool to have that, I was like, see, and it was dope. It definitely expanded my fan base, and like got me different fans that I didn't have before. But I have like, I still feel like I have a lot of work to do before I could say I've like made it. So just steady, keeping up the journey.
You're one of those people where I look at and I'm like, because you're in your mid-30s now, I think, and
Something like that.
right? Well, it doesn't matter. You're those people I look at, I'm like Timothy DeLaGhetto, Timothy Chantarangsu, yes, has been grinding for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And it's obvious because like you put out content, like it's there, it's sitting. You haven't done music in a little while, but were once you have done a lot of music in your life, and like you're there.
Right.
That's like I'm like this is the kind of guy I want to like. The work ethic is what I want to go after here.
Yeah, I just believe in like if you put in the work, you will even if it's baby steps, you're making steps in the right direction, you know? And I think a lot of people will get really discouraged if something doesn't like pop off immediately, or like they don't blow up like they thought they would.
Yeah.
But I always looked at shit like the same way that, you know, when people look at like getting like a medical degree and becoming a doctor, right? I always tell people that you shouldn't look at your goals like a dream. You should look at it like a destination, because like dreams feel like this like super intangible, weird, far off thing, right?
Right.
But like if you look at it like as a destination, like it's tangible, like it's there and you'll get there eventually as long as you keep moving forward, then like you'll get there eventually. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep going. And the beauty of that is it's like you don't know how long it's gonna take, or you don't know, like, you know, you might have to take a different path, but like, you know, it's there, you see it, and so you'll get there eventually. And that's how I just kind of I looked at the fame shit or like the entertainment industry, because people look at it as so like, oh man, you're living your dream. But like say my homegirl that became a doctor, she knew she wanted to be a doctor when she was younger, so she took like all the biology classes, and she was pre-med, and then she was a nurse, and then now she's a practicing doctor. And I feel like I'm doing the same thing, you know, like I knew I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. So I started making videos that were entertaining, and then I just kind of like kept going on a path that I thought would get me where I wanted to be, you know?
Yeah, I'm in like the very, very beginning stages of that right now.
Right.
With like the podcast sketches, which I have been slacking on lately.
It's tough, man. It's tough to even shoot during this whole pandemic shit, you know, but
yeah, it's also I don't like shooting myself. And
yeah, me neither.
and sometimes you have to do it. Like it's not like something, you know, but it's so unnatural for me to be like, all right, so I'm gonna set up the shot, be in the shot, edit the shot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Man.
also on about. I want to talk about your new show.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
Yes, I got caught up in the Wild Out thing because I'm such a big fan of it now. But it's coming out on, I believe, December 14th.
December 14th, yes.
MTV.
MTV, yes. What a
Yes,
blessing.
okay, I got it right.
Yes.
You're hosting it with Angela Kinsey
From The Office, yeah.
and Kel Mitchell from Kenan and Kel.
Uh-huh.
You know, everyone knows Kel Mitchell. And Tiffany Dyson?
Decent.
Her too?
Decent. Yeah. Oh,
Everyone's
Saved by the Bell. That might be before your time.
No, everyone's sweetheart. I know her. Tiffany Thieves. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of her.
Okay, for sure.
But yes, it is before my time though, yeah.
Right, totally. I mean, yeah, it's a blessing to be a part of such a dope cast of people who I literally grew up watching through different stages of my life, you know, and I've kind of past few years I've been like pivoting towards, you know, just like the food space and things revolved around food. So it was dope that MTV thought of me for it. And you know, it's Deliciousness, like but it's with nothing but food clips. And it's like a whole new cast of people just, you know, watching clips and making jokes and reacting, and it's a fun time, you know. It's super chill. I love it. And December 14th, I think they're gonna do like a whole, like I think that whole week is just gonna be like a marathon of deliciousness and ridiculousness. So
I loved ridiculousness growing up.
Yeah, man. And this is interesting because it's like ridiculousness, but you know, I think with Kelly Kapowski and with Angela, it kind of hits like a new demo, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it should be interesting to see how it does and who tunes in and how it's received, but I'm excited.
I could call it Kelly Kapowski because it is. I feel like more people know Tiffany Thiessen as Kelly Kapowski, but they don't even know what her name is in real life. They're just like, oh, Kelly Kapowski. But
right.
So the way I envision it is like ridiculousness is like America's Funniest Videos on steroids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But AFE kind of opened the door for it at the same time, and the internet very much opened the door for a show like yours.
Mm-hmm.
People they want to see fails, but they really want to see food fails.
I think so. I mean, people love food, people love fails, so why not combine it and just make it a whole show, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited. I was like, oh. But I also read it. I also looked at it. I'm like, that's a cast right there.
It's a fun group.
It's
exciting. It's a nice dynamic too, because like it's like totally a different dynamic than Ridiculousness, because like Angela takes on more of like this like motherly role where she's like, I'll say a joke and she's like, Tim, you stinker.
She's the clean one, you know.
Yeah,
Who's
she's super
hosting it?
clean. So it's like hosting is Kelly Kapowski.
Kelly Kapowski's host. Okay, wow, that's amazing. Honestly, that's oh yeah. My first reaction right when I saw was like, huh, this cast seems random, but like they're really gonna
Super random.
but they're really gonna work though.
Yeah, and it works. It works surprisingly. Apparently, you know, they tried a bunch of different people shooting different variations of Deliciousness, and this is the only one that was like, this works.
Did you know any of them before Delicious?
I knew Kel.
You knew
I
Kel.
knew Kel just just in passing, and like, you know, just through like mutual people. But yeah.
Wow, that's oh my goodness. Have you watched the Saved by the Bell reboot?
No, I've been meaning to though. It looks really funny. I'm like excited for it.
It's I watched the pilot of it.
Mm-hmm.
The rest you need to pay for the full Peacock service
Oh,
for.
you have to pay for Peacock? Oh.
That's how Peacock gets you, right? Is that some things are free, parts of some shows are free, and it's perfect for Saved Bell because the first episode's free, and you're like, oh, Mario Lopez and Elizabeth Berkley or whatever her name is, and you're like, oh, so I have to pay for the rest.
Damn it.
So now you're rethinking it.
No, I'm still gonna watch. I gotta support my new friend Kelly Kapowski, so I'll check it out.
You know, have you heard about Kev on Stage Studios?
Of course.
Have you already bought into it? No. Have you already paid for the service, I should say?
Not yet. I will though, to support. I'm down. Of course. I love Kev on Stage. I love everything he does. He's the best.
I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Kev on Stage. So I was
the best.
I was kind of brilliant too. I was like, oh wow, like this is actually very smart of you to make a full service, whatever you want to, full service streaming platform.
Kev is just the best. Everyone loves Kev, and we all just want him to win at everything. You know, he's just a good dude.
Yeah, I think he just gives off. He's so genuine though, and so like I genuinely feel like, and you too. You guys are both in the same way. Where it's like, obviously I know you now, but I don't know Kev. I've never met him, but I feel like I know him pretty well just through.
Just a nice guy.
Yeah, just through social media,
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it sure does.
No, it's all fake.
He's such a mean person.
Yeah, no, he's a dick.
that would be the biggest shocker.
Well, speaking of dicks, man, I'm gonna get something to eat. I'm hungry. So thank you for having me.
Oh wow. That's okay. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Hopefully I didn't keep you too long.
No, we're good. It's just lunchtime. My wife is texting me, hey, are you gonna eat? So it's time,
It's lunchtime for me too. Let everyone know what do you want to plug? Where can we find you? All that.
Sure. You can find me youtube.com/Timothy for all my YouTube content. I got a podcast too. It's called the No Chaser Podcast. And Instagram is my full name, Tim Chantarangsu. And of course, watch Deliciousness on December 14th on MTV, 7 p.m.
Anything else?
Nope.
That's it. All right. Thank you for coming, Tim Chantarangsu. Yes. Thank you for letting me bother you. And, thank you for watching. And everyone, stay safe.
Woo!